So Gumbo is a game collective consisting of people living in New York and also abroad digitally. And yeah, it's just a bunch of game developers holed up together, helping each other and helping each other succeed, basically. The process for founding Gumbo was battling loneliness as a game developer. It can be very isolating sometimes when you're working on games. You don't know how to code something, you don't know how to draw something, you just want to seek advice or you just want to chat about games. And it started out with just like 2 or 3 people, and then very slowly and organically grew as people saw what we were doing and saw that we're very authentic, non WeWork type of place. A lot of dirt everywhere here. So that's kind of how it grew. Yeah, just sort of the energy we put out there was that we were just regular people, regular game developers, trying to help each other. I have it's me and 2 other people. They're doing research in the back of me over there by playing a game. Yeah, and it's kind of cool because you can kind of just team up with someone at Gumbo, and sometimes teams form like that, or so that's actually how our team formed. People from the space. It's really good. It's good for your mental health as a game developer because you get encouraged, you can help others can help you, you can socialize, and you can feel like you're not just developing in a vacuum, which a lot of people that take on game development quit really early because it's really challenging. So just being around others who appreciate the challenge of it and can support each other is huge community, for community and for your mental health. Be with others that like what you like. Absolutely, there is. We're constantly giving each other feedback. A lot of those interactions are very casual. Sometimes you just come up to someone and interrupt them while they're working on their game and say, "Hey, can you stop working on your game and look at my game?" And that's completely fine. We're also really open to other people coming into our space and checking out what we do. So the point of Gumbo is to be inclusive and to get people in, especially people who you might not, oh, like, wow, they're creating a game. That's really cool. Just getting different voices in here as well. It's been a while. Maybe since like 2016, 2015, something like that. It used to be, it's a much bigger space now than it was before. We were in a very tiny space, and every time we invited someone, they would have to kind of like, it was like they're like crawling through tunnels just to come into our space. So it was a shock when we were able to land this space while we got it while the pandemic was happening and the real estate prices were low, and we kind of took the plunge to get the space and got a good deal. But it was a shock when we were finally landed this space. And wow, we have all this space now. Before we were kind of like in tiny offices, kind of like rats or cockroaches. I think the pandemic was an interesting time for everybody. Everybody has a story about the pandemic. It's like, oh my God, what I went through, I lost weight, I gained weight, I got fat, I got skinny, whatever, right? It was such a weird time because we got the space, but then we only allowed like 6 or 7 people to come in. It was like a very tiny core group, and we really tried to stay safe and not just invite people irresponsibly into the space. And then slowly as it progressed and vaccines came out and stuff, we slowly rolled out more, more people. We slowly got more people in the space. So we took our time, but it was a scary time and an uncertain time because we got this big space, but like we weren't trying to get like 40 people in here. Yeah, there's all kinds of events. I think they had like a Unity mixer here. Um, at this point, the as time goes on, we're just like more and more well known. So like companies that create game engines know about us, and other companies know about us. Even like New York State knows about us, and we're part of that whole um, environment. Events range from like just mixers to like gameplay tests. You have like people come in, set up their game, and then people from the outside can come in and test it and stuff like that. So it's really diverse kind of amount of events. Just finding out about Gumbo, meeting other people. A lot of people get really surprised when they enter the space, when they see it for the first time, because it is really unique and different. Um, than if you went to a co-working space like WeWork or another co-working space. It is really for game developers. Not that like people have day jobs here. People work on like websites and stuff like that, and we all do what we got to do. But we try to make a space that is convenient for game developers, and they can just feel at home. And some people really respond to that and then become like members as part-time members or full-time members. I think so. Yeah. Brooklyn is well. Yeah. I mean, the neighborhood we live in Brooklyn is pretty expensive. Um, you see a lot of people bringing lunch from home, but in general, yeah, I think Brooklyn is great. Especially the part we're in is sort of like really close to the city. It's one stop away from the city, so it's in Brooklyn, but it's pretty close to the city. And also the neighborhood we're in is Dumbo, Brooklyn. It's a very artsy neighborhood, so it's kind of fitting that we're here. Snacks, maybe. We have more teas than you can count, so every flavor of tea that you could possibly want, we have. Um, but I think the best part is just you come here and you feel like, oh, other people are working on games. I feel like maybe I can pull through that encouragement. To me, I think that's probably the best part. That community effort, you know, uh, type of thing. One interesting thing is like the room we're sitting in is not a super fun story, but the room we're sitting in wasn't originally part of the space. We were in the room. Well, you can't see it, but we were in a room, that's over there, and we asked the building owners, like, can we like make a doorway in the room? Maybe you could show us some footage of it. And they're like, sure, but it's your responsibility. So we just got a couple people from Gumbo and just started hacking into the wall and just made a hole in the wall. And then later we turned into like a nice doorway. But for a long time, it was just a hole that we walked through. And it was just like a hilarious. And this is during the pandemic too, so it was just a very dystopian feel.
Be a nice team building exercise.
Yeah, it was. But it looked like we were in a post-apocalyptic setting.
It kind of works.
Right. Yeah, it's matched the time. Yeah, I mean there's studio openings here and stuff, and I think we've gone as a group to see art openings and stuff here. So I think just the more art that's around, art breeds more art. So like, yeah, the creative energy around Dumbo is always been, for a long time, has been really strong. Um, so yeah, I think we kind of feed off that for sure. Yes, I have like other co-working spaces like WeWork, or other ones I just can't remember the name of right now. or just like in a cubicle at a company or at home. This is my favorite type of space to work at because just create a creative energy that's here is unmatched, and people feel at ease. I don't know if you ever worked at like a co-working space. There's a certain tendency to like stiffen up. It's just kind of like, I don't know, everything's so clean and everything's so like professional, and we can kind of just be ourselves here. That's the really cool part about it.
You say it's like a family.
A group of good friends, I would say. I hate my family. Yeah, I mean, if people are interested in Gumbo, Gumbo, by the way, stands for Games Under the Brooklyn Bridge Overpass, which is,
The Manhattan.
you're right, Games Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass. Thank you so much for correcting me. That's an extremely important correction. Yeah, if anybody's interested in checking it out, it's pretty easy. You can find us on, I think, GumboNYC.com. Yeah, it's pretty chill, homegrown game development space.